It's a gathering place for myself and others to sit and be with each other and talk. It has beautiful like gazebos in a huge space surrounded by trees and birds. I can't tell what we're all wearing. I'm wearing a robe of some sort. I think everyone else is too.
So it's a gathering, you said, right?
Yeah.
Let's see what you are wearing.
Yeah, I'm wearing a robe, but it's a material that feels very nice. I've never felt that before that I can remember.
Do you have any ornaments?
No, but there's like embroidery and things on the robes. So yeah, there's ornaments, but I don't like jewelry, so it kind of messes up my my energy, so I never wear it.
How about the hair? How is your hair over there?
My hair is surprisingly short. No, actually, I have no hair.
So it's a big gathering, there are lots of people around?
Yeah.
So beings?
Yeah, many beings.
Many beings. And they are wear the same thing?
Similar, not exactly.
Is it any different things that's coming to your observation?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy their company. And I feel as though we are in lockstep with our imaginings. We feel the same things at the same time. We have different perspectives of it sometimes.
I wonder how you communicate.
Well, we just do. There's just...
Verbally or?
No, this is completely inside our minds.
So it's a large number of beings?
I don't know what the number is. It wouldn't be more than 100. It might be 50, 60 that I can see. But I don't think we're the only pod of humans or whatever we are.
So it's a larger gathering?
Yeah.
Let's see what it's about. What it's about, this gathering.
That's what I'm thinking about. What are we talking about? We talk about whatever pops up in our minds about stuff. But it's about creating. It's about creating whatever we want to create. We're creating matter out of our thoughts. It's sort of like it's a very pleasant game to create like this.
So you collectively thought about something and you create collectively or individually?
No, we're all doing it collectively.
Okay, so it's agreement between you what to create, right?
Yeah, we can create individually if we want to, but this particular gathering, it's like any other gathering. It's like each individual could create something else that has nothing to do with the rest of everybody else. Does that make sense? But we are creating a dream that has, we're creating a dream that we're creating things inside a dream with our thoughts by using what you would call dark matter. I think that's what you call it. It's not, not an accurate thing. I'm just trying to, I'm starting to lose.
So you're creating material things into a dream.
Yeah. So there's people and animals and
in the dream.
In the dream.
So those people and animals, they have free will to create further, or they just play the game they play in your dream?
Everybody, the rule is of the dream of our gatherings is that there has to be free will for everything and everybody. Because without that, it's not any fun.
So those that are coming into your dream.
So as we create them, yes, they come into the dream.
And how do they know about to create themselves further, that they have free will?
They figure that out. It's like you set it in motion, and you see where it goes. And then if it looks like it's going to self-destruct, that could be fine. But if sentient beings create out of it, or the members of the dream, of the gathering, want to participate in the dream, which many do, I do, then we can take on jobs, determinations, whatever, and create that energy is the wrong word, create that intention that happens too, and that creates versions of ourselves in the dream to affect direction of the dream.
So those beings gathering, they keep creating and that dream?
No, once we've created the dream, we just hold space for it.
We hold the space.
And then we watch it happen. And that's the fun part.
So are you a creator of our world? You're a part of...
I am... Our world, what does that mean? Our world. You mean where I'm...
Yes.
Where I'm at right this minute.
Part.
Yes.
Sure.
This is not the only world that we do. That's much bigger than that. There's many, many worlds. It's not even about worlds. It's more like intentions.
Is it realities or?
Yeah.
But what's a reality if it's a dream?
Right. That's just the point. There's the reality, not the way you think of it. It's just that you have a presence of intentionality in this dream. The dream I'm currently in, that this version of me is in talking to the version of you. You're calling that reality because it's got a, it's linear and it has a cause and effect to it, and it's got some bases that you think you can predict futures from.
So we are the futures set in stone, or they are just whatever is coming?
No, well,
dreaming about the future.
Sometimes we can infer a future for it. If it needs to go, like we've learned as we've done this, that different entities need to be able to move on to the next level, that's a bad word, but the next intention of their creation process. And then many have. Many have advanced quite far, but have never really picked up what we're doing. What we're looking to do, and we have done, is to create beings who can create like this. And understand that the beauty and the love and the fun in creation.
So once you create the beings that they are creating further, if they don't create, they don't know what to create. What's happening when your dream is over, or?
Our dreams are just not over.
So once you start the dream creating, it just keeps going on?
Yes, and our creation starts to create well enough that it's creating a dream of its own. Well, that dream's going on, and they know how to be part of that dream. And when we get tired of our dream, we just stop and dream something else.
So are the people that are in your dream, the being that are in your dream, what's happening with those?
Well, we've learned that it can't all be easy. There are no lessons in that. There's no beauty in it. There's no love. It has to be based in what I think you're calling reality. So there's a good and there's a bad, because it's all perceptive. So there's no demarcations between good or bad. It just is. Because if you were a being who created itself in mud and muck and mire, and you liked it, that would be good. But someone who created themselves in a different environment would look at that and say, that's bad. And it's not.
So they keep creating realities until they find...
what feels right. Remember, it's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. So you are creating galaxies too?
I'm sorry?
Did you create galaxies and universes?
Oh yeah. That's the easy part.
The easy part? So what's the more difficult, more challenging part?
Challenging, maybe not, maybe more entertaining, more interesting is the living entities that grow, and there's zillions of different kinds of, what you'd call bugs and microscopic this and things that don't exist yet, and things that are popping in and out of existence because they're not really real, and yet they are. That's really just the energy of us, of the creation, doing it. And after a while, the creation starts creating. And that's when things start turning into bugs and I guess rabbits and dogs and humans, and whatever version they're all going to be, because that's when they start creating themselves. We just get it going and give it all, like the clay there, and then that gives impetus and intentionality to things that say, oh, I like this, I don't like that. Start making choices. Start making choices about what they're going to look like or be like. And then they move on from there, and that could be whatever they can imagine.
So they can continue to dream.
Yeah, sure. And if they get to where they're able to create, that's creating inside of our dream. When they're able to create their own dream, that doesn't necessarily not include us, but it doesn't need to include us.
They're going to jump into their creation also?
They're going to make their own creation, and then they'll be in their creation.
To that?
Right.
But how about keeping your consciousness of who you are as a creator?
Oh, that never changes. Who you are is who you are.
So
once they've been created and their intentionality begins to start, you never change.
You as a group of beings, you are dreaming about this creation. Is it somebody else, something else that dreams about you, that group of beings?
Yes. I see what you're asking. Are we at the beginning?
Yeah.
No.
Before you gather as a group, who dream about you, who created you?
I see what you're saying. Well, you all are aware of one, aren't you?
Yes.
One is one of the people in a group like us who's able to create a dream, learned enough, long enough, create its own separate dream, from what it learned from doing what we're doing, we're all trying to do the same thing. Or no, we are doing the same thing. I shouldn't say try. Your new language, try is the bad word. Get rid of that. And has dreamed us, and we're dreaming, well, you.
Regular people that are in your dream.
What's that?
It's kind of so
I can hear in your voice that this is amusing.
Yeah, when they daydream, it's just a practicing of creating something, or because lots of humans, they daydream in your dream. How would you explain that?
Well, they gotta practice as part of it, but in your daydream, you are actually creating a dream. Your intentionality doesn't keep it going much longer than your daydream goes, but if you have the same daydream or the same will or a desire that you want, you will create it.
So once a dream is created and becomes reality, can you change it or eliminate it? Or
always. Always.
Can it be dissolved and neutralized eventually if it goes bad?
Well, what's bad?
But like what's happening, we are in your dream that we are kind of under lots of control and forget about who we are, and that's why I call it bad, because we...
Oh, you call it bad?
Kind of, because we like to know.
Why is it bad?
It's lots of people struggle, and
so the pain that it causes is bad. Yeah, I could certainly understand not wanting that, but think about what you learned. Don't lose sight of what you're learning. How do you know how white is if you don't put it next to black? How do you know how black is if you don't put it next to white? Everything has a purpose and a reason, and it's part of the love that you talk about. You cannot have one without the other. Even if you were living in a world that you all consider to be absolutely wonderful and perfect, some things would go off.
It would be boring. You need to create something.
Yeah, for there to be happiness in it, you have to be creating. And
so you create the opposite or understand one, right?
Right, and it would be tempting if you got bored to create unhappiness or something that would like rub against the grain a tad just so you have something to do.
So your creation is based on duality, most of it?
Kind of? Well, we don't see it as that. We don't see it as a duality, and that's a separator, and I think that's what creates the idea and the concept of bad or good. I think it's got to be more. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
It's okay, but the point that you are creating is not bad or good. It's just it is.
Just is. And what do you want to create today? That's what it comes down to. That's the big lesson. If you don't want to be controlled, don't be controlled. You're gonna suffer consequences? Probably. But will they matter if you don't care? No. But it takes a lot of self-determination and clarity on who you actually are in order to survive that. Because if you survive and push against, that's just the wrong way to look at it. But if you experience the negativity, you guys have no good words for this. I can tell that your language comes from being plagued with this concept of good and bad and you and me and them and us. That's unfortunate. I'm not sure how to convey any of this, but I would say, I'll try to say, the people who are causing you the most pain are your brothers and your sisters, and they're in this dream too. And they have every right to be in this dream because they're dreaming too. And you're part of their dream. And they're part of your dream.
So
if you could love them too, so that they would be inside your dream, not outside your dream fighting you, but inside your dream and included in your dream. What they're doing, which is clarifying what you're doing, would be understood by both sides, and there would be this meeting in the middle where it's really not necessary all the time to be like that. And then as you guys start leaving the cycle of having to be physically born and physically die, and just are beings, not unlike what we're doing, then you'll understand that each person has a need. The people that I think you perceive as negative get, or some of them get, not all, get that there needs to be people who are what you call good, or else nobody exists. There's nothing.
Yeah.
And the ones who you perceive as being negative want to lose because they've got too much power. They're trying to get rid of it because it's way out of balance now.
So once it's out of balance, it just disappears?
Yeah.
How?
But it takes its own, it has to go through its own balancing act. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if somebody in your dream, in your creation, wants to step out of that dream, is it possible?
Ooh.
Does it happen?
Well, we all hope so, because that's what we're doing. We're creating our own dream, and we are part of the Creator's dream still, but we're not outside of the dream. And we're trying to create a dream that will work well enough for us that each one of us individually, just like the Creator did, could be able to make a completely total, congruent dream for just us, each of us. And what we would gain from that would be incredible. It's just incredible. So we're still working, as a group. And we haven't been able to break out of it either, but your future is what we're doing, being able to come together, and create.
With those that are in your dream.
Yeah, others in your dream through the intentionality of it, and understand how to create that, and the true power of your creation ability, and what it really means. And there really isn't anything else but intention and or creation. The rest of this is not even here. It's just a perception, which is hard to explain, but you'll see. You guys are working towards it now, so you'll see.
So that is just a small aspect of you being there as a creator?
He is an aspect of, yes, of me, there's no I or not where I come from either, but my entity who's part of this group, he's an aspect of me. He's playing different roles to survive, to experience. Yeah, because I need to experience all of it.
Through his experience, you experience too.
Right, I learn from his experience. I experience it.
You have many aspects of you in the dream?
What's that?
Do you have many aspects of you, many parts?
Oh, goodness, yes. Everybody here is an aspect of someone that is part of the group.
From that part of the group.
Yeah.
So whatever it's in this dream, they are just part of those gathering being that they send.
Right. That's why you'll never die, because you're not real.
So what's what we call the higher self? Are you?
Ooh.
If it's in a dream, what's the connection with the higher self and you, and the one that is dreaming this dream and the one that is in your dream?
Yeah, that's us.
So you are the higher self.
Yeah. So you're at whoever aspect you are is one of us in the group who's dreaming you.
So that's the higher self, is the one who's dreaming this. Oh, wonderful.
I'm actually, what does he call himself? I'm Beloved's higher self. Now, he communicates with me on a regular basis, but I have to be careful what I do, because I'm experimenting with creating my own dream through his communication with me, but it can't be about anything that would harm his particular dream, because it's me and we love him very much. He's okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful, because so in your dream in your creation, it's about now we are coming to a shift of the earth and the humans.
Yeah.
What is about?
Yeah. You ready?
we are very curious.
Scary, huh? I can hear a certain...
I think exciting.
I can feel, yeah, I can feel... I see your language really is terrible.
Okay.
Some are scared, some don't even know, and some are looking forward to it. And that's great, because all of those experiences are going back to your higher selves, so that they're getting more and more out of the experience. What's going to happen is you're going to be like, instead of the slug in the slime, you know, and then you came up to where you're conscious of yourself more. They always are. There's no such thing as non-sentient anything. Everything knows what it is, because it's all been created. So whoever created it is in constant communication with the feelings involved and what it is. So you are always, there's no such thing as non-sentient. If sentient means it has a self-awareness and or a purpose. Nothing here is not like that, because again, this is just a dream. So and we set things in motion. A lot of it is just random, and then it starts to coalesce into order. And the order has its own rules, and the rules become what it's best for that particular entity. In your situation, you have, you know, the matter that we've created. It's created itself. Actually, is starting to push out to the edges of these sacred geometry shapes that you've got floating around in there that you don't see, but they're there. And that's where your civilizations and your galaxies, they're all beginning to come with or develop. And it's just hurtling through space. Actually, it's not. Space is sort of hurtling past it, but then I don't want to get into that.
It's kind of the space and time. It's hard to explain it in our language,
well,
right?
In your guys' terms, there's no way to do it in your language. I don't even know what to tell you.
Okay.
So, as you move through this thing that you guys call your galaxy, there are different energies that you either have experienced very little of or never experienced before, and they look like they're, I guess for a better term, they're like clouds that are just there, and they have different protons and photons and different everything in it, and then you're coming into it at a zillion miles an hour, and as you get further and further into it, it's going to affect everything. Now, lots of people like to think about themselves just being the fleas on the back of your planet, but it's all of you together are the organism, really,
including the planet, right?
Everything, the rocks, the mental core, the inner Earth people. Everybody's part of this entity called your planet, and your planet is in another entity that's called your solar system. It's all a unit. It does experience things differently, just like every one of you experience your lives differently, but you're all on this planet and you're all going the same direction, because you are all one. So there's just no way to not be one, part of one. So as you go into these different zones of energies, things happen, and you're already in it, actually. And then what will happen is that as you smash through these other, I'm going to explain them in your language.
So
it's a cloud. Yeah, of energy that's the best I can do. That's going to absolutely affect everything. One of the things it will affect is that you will start to vibrate much, much faster. The faster you vibrate, if you think of a piano, which is oversimplification, you go to the notes on the left. I hope he's got this right, because he seems to know this pretty well. Yeah, he does. He hits a note, he goes like, no. And you press one on the right, he goes, no. Totally different frequencies. Well, there's a lot more frequencies than just those. So if you start getting up into higher frequencies, what that means is that it's vibrating faster. Understand that the vibration of sound moves faster than light. So it's all based on the vibrations of sound, not the speed of light. That was a nice little thing for you guys all to think, because it got you through what works here, because you're in an atmosphere, and so a sound doesn't go that fast. But out in space, it's faster than light. So as you come through and your vibrations begins to quicken, it changes everything. You're no longer the whatever note this is called, or the frequency, you're now this frequency. That's different. And that creates a lot of difference in perspective and physical attributes. You name it, it's just different. And different attitudes. And to get through that, you're going to physically change. You will have physical changes that you can't touch, but you will notice. You might be noticing now that you've got friends that are just sort of flipping out, other friends that aren't. Aches and pains that you never had before, and illnesses that you never had before, or sudden reversals of those things that you don't understand why. It's going to be what does he say? It's time to raise up your hands and go, ah! Because you're going a roller coaster. You're going to just shoot through this thing. You might as well just have fun, because you're not going to stop it, and it's going to happen. So get good with it.
So when somebody's coming to this dream, let's say done, you start usually as a lower frequency and raise it up, or just you can pick up any frequency that.
You have no choice.
It's a choice?
No, you have none. Not about this. If what do you call it, Gaia? If Gaia begins to vibrate quicker, you're going to vibrate quicker. You got nothing to say about it, or jump off. Maybe that might make a difference, but not really, because you still be hurtling through the same space. The thing that's working, I don't know if it's against you, it's affecting you, is that you're this little bitty thing that's going through this very, very big thing, and no matter how much bigger you get, you're never going to be bigger than the big thing. So it's going to affect you. You cannot escape it. You can get into a rocket and go out into space, but it's still going to get you.
Lots of information. So is it a one-to-one correlation between each person and their higher self, or does one higher self has many persons?
Oh, one higher self is many persons.
Lots of persons, okay.
You both have higher self that's in this group, Are you aware of that? You're just different facets of that higher self. I mean, when you speak about yourself, you're talking about one of the people in my group.
So the group that it's like the 50...
we don't bother counting things, so I'm not really sure, but I'm using his understanding, and I would say 50 to 100. 100 would be a lot.
So, how about angels? The angels that we call angels, what are they? Do you create them in your dream, or?
Well,
they're part of
I mean, that's part of us trying to nudge things in the direction that it needs to go. So angels are also another aspect of what we're able to do. I mean, everything you guys experience here is what we're creating. And so there's angels that come in and say, this isn't, that's not quite where we want you to go with this. Or this is not, you're not supposed to experience this thing, which you would call a bad thing now, or you need to experience this good thing. And they're real. I mean, that's just as real as you are, and you're not real, hate to tell you. So there shouldn't be too much of an understanding that you can have something just appear to you, like other entities actually know how to have technology to do that. Once you start to evolve, changing your frequency gets easy, and that means you can appear, disappear, have an effect here.
In your dream, right?
It's part of our dream, yeah. No, let's say it differently, so you get some. It's part of our dream.
Yeah.
You're in it. You're in it. He's in it. It's your dream.
So how about the reincarnation? We just keep coming on and on and on.
Well, that was an idea that. Don't care for it much. There has to be some sort of a negative to balance out the positive. It's all about we need to maintain balance, and you've had things that you would call a fake God. And that fake God didn't want to lose control of this particular, and it's not a fake God, it's one of us who just thought that they could pull it off, and now they've got it. I mean, that was such a great idea, and so we keep recycling your entities, your spirits, you know, back around and back around, and there's this is very difficult to explain.
But it's against their free will, because they're tricked. Sometimes
they've been tricked, sure.
Tricked to come
exactly,
back, right?
Exactly. That's the whole thing. It's just usually getting understanding. Part of the desire to understand creation, you experiment with it, because we don't know everything. We're trying to find out everything, so we can create our own dream, what you call creator. We could create an existence that's just ours. So you play with it, and then sometimes you play with it and you shouldn't have done that. It was a mistake. Other times you play with it and it was a good thing. Oh, that's the way it should go. There are many living beings out there that can
mistakes, right? By creation, it's happening.
Things that but you correct your mistakes.
You can correct. You have the power to correct.
And that's what's going on for you guys right now. You're becoming released from a mistake. But it was a good exercise in how black is black, is white is white, and you guys have had that rare experience. You fractals of us have had this experience of how bad it could get, and or not know. I mean, you've been there's a thing that you think of. It's like if you were to put the lobster in cold water and you heat the water, it wouldn't know it's getting cooked, and then it would be cooked. Okay. And that's very much what's happened to you guys. And now it's time to turn off the stove, because that's enough.
We don't like being cooked.
No, and it's not working out so well. So, and we weren't trying to cook it. You just want to see what would happen. So it's an experiment that should have stopped long ago, but then there was a bunch of agreements, and we're all about free will, and you know, it's not right to say you can't do this, and a lot of manipulation happened, and that's also part of creation, like it or not. That's what it's about. Manipulating something to be what you want it to be is just creating something you're trying to create. So there's no good or bad about it, it just is. And that creation is definitely getting in the way of the rest of the creation and other entities who are not living in that particular little subset of the creation. This is really complex.
Yeah, so I have another question. If somebody from your dream, from an aspect of those creators, okay, let's say I'm an aspect of one of the
Yes, you are.
Right, thank you. If I have a desire to do something and I connect with that higher part of me, it's gonna help me, or it's gonna listen to my desire and act upon, or just let me experience whatever is to experience?
Oh, you're looking for the genie, aren't you? Well, it exists. This is your creation. It truly is. And you are a representative of the faction or fractal, or what do you want to call it, a piece of the higher self in my group that knows all about you. And there's nothing wrong with creating for yourself a determination that's different than what's going on for you right now. Even the future you can't see yet. If you can't see the future, you can't create it, and you're not going to get it. If you can see that future, you'll get it. And we're all waiting for, we really want you all to start learning how to create things on your own, because if you do that, we get that.
But sometimes you give nudges to your creation, right? To your aspects. You're coming into the dreams to give some nudges to...
Yes, well, those are your different, you call them angels, some call them demons.
You pick up the car when I was in the car with the kids. One of my aspects, so I just start the car and I have quite a few experiences. Thank you, by the way. Yeah, wonderful. So it's not manipulating energy, but we like to, by creating, we can shape the energy.
Oh, heck yes.
Are we far away from that? Let's say let's put done.
Yeah, it's already going on. I mean,
It's done.
yeah, it's pretty much done.
So, how about Barbara? What she needs to improve or to awaken into her, because everybody would like to grow a little bit spiritually.
Well, yeah, but everybody, you, her, him. One of the things that we major, and I'm sure it's been said before, and it seems like it's just a bunch of blah blah, but it's actually you don't understand the depth of it. If you were a fractal, you were one of the ones creating the fractal in this group. This would not be a weird thing to say. It would be completely doable. But since you've been experiencing a lot of different things, which is what we want to have happen, it makes us more experienced and more deep. If we could get you to just believe and to let go that you can dream whenever you want to dream, and you can make it happen. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And believe it, not just say it or think you want to believe it or say it too many times and then it turns into being that's not going to happen. Be careful what how you say it. It's got to be, I want this. No. This is happening. That I want. This is happening. And then be able to say it like you say that one,
So if I see it and create it at the same time with my higher self and just together, it's going to materialize and...
Yeah, you are your higher self. You are your higher self.
So, are there many groups like this group?
Well, I'm aware of there's more than just us. And my assumption is that they're creating other dreams that you're not in.
Okay.
So but they may look the same, even act the same. Beloved has, well, it doesn't matter. He calls himself Dream Hopper because he actually does jump into other dreams.
He jumps into other dreams?
Yeah, and he has.
Is it happen pretty often to lots of people, or to have from a
no, it can, but not a lot of people don't care.
They don't realize.
They don't realize it, so they never look for the opportunity. But I certainly, there's nothing that one person gets that someone else doesn't get. There's no specialness. Everybody gets the same. That sounds boring, but if you realize how much that meant, it wouldn't be boring. You'd be very fulfilled and very happy.
That's interesting.